Hey everyone, this is Buddy Smith, and this is the sixth speaking assignment. Now, as I've shared from some of my previous posts, I've worked in the restaurant business for about 15 years. Um, and one of my biggest concerns whenever I go to my family members' home is watching them use cutlery in their kitchen. I mean, it's terrifying. I've seen my grandmother use a serrated knife to cut an onion, a butcher's knife to cut a piece of cake, and this is really, really dangerous, especially when it comes to serrated knives, because if you've ever been cut by serrated knives, it really hurts, and it takes an incredibly long time to heal. So today I'd like to take the chance to tell everyone about the three tools that I personally believe every kitchen should have, and at a minimum, these three knives. So I'm going to start off with the chef knife. Now this is a global chef knife. It is made in Japan. This is the spine of the knife. It has a much thicker spine than most globals do. Most globals are very lightweight and very thin. They have that really Japanese feel to them. This knife cost about $180, but you can find them cheaper on eBay or Amazon. Actually, don't buy them off eBay. eBay is a terrible choice to buy knives. You're going to get a knockoff without a doubt, and then you'll just have wasted an incredible amount of money. Um, I would use this knife for cutting vegetables, just general tasks around the kitchen. I don't use this to cut bread. This will squish your bread, and that's a big no-no. Don't do that. Another difference in globals versus your Western style counterparts. Most Western style knives have a full tang, and this does not. It has a hollow handle, and it's welded, and that may seem like a bit of a drawback. Personally, to me, it was initially. But I've had this knife for quite a few years, and it's not going to break. I'm sure I'll pass this knife along to my daughter once I pass. This is a 8-inch chef knife. It's made by Global. It's much smaller, and personally, this was one of the first Globals I bought, and it is a great knife, but I like to hold my knives like this versus holding them by the handle, so it's a little bit harder to do with this knife. So I mainly use this for butchering, but you can certainly substitute this for any chef knife. It's what it is. So here's another item. That's another choice if you don't like the big 10-inch knives. Now this is a Western style knife, as I was referring to earlier. As you can see, it's a much different animal than the previous knives. On the spine of this guy, it's much thicker, it's much heavier. It has a Western style handle and a tang. Excuse me. It has a full tang throughout the handle, and it has a hill as well. A lot of people just love Western style knives, and at one time I was one of those people, but I've definitely, over the years, I've migrated towards the Eastern style knives. But either one of these is a great knife, whether you go Eastern or Western. But keep in mind, with the Western style knives, they require a lot more upkeep. You're going to have to sharpen them more often. Depending on which knife it is, you may have to oil the blade on a frequent basis, or you may get rust and pitting, such as this knife. This is an an Ontario knife work, turn of the century knife. I don't ever use this, I just have it around, and I kept it to show as an example of pitting. It's something you want to avoid. Now, this is a serrated knife. All kitchens need them. You use these for cutting bread, for cutting pastries. Don't use this for anything else. It's a bread knife. Use it for cutting bread. Don't try to slice meats with it. Don't do other things. Just use it for bread. Now, I personally don't advocate the use of paring knives, and this is not a paring knife, but it can be used in place of one for smaller items that you might want to use, such as mincing garlic or radishes, small things like that. This I use more than anything for butchering meat. I just recently used it over the holiday break to break down turkey, duck. I cleaned a brisket with it, and it's great. I mean, this is the most versatile tool you have in your entire kitchen besides your chef knife. Now, those are the items I suggest everyone has. You don't have to use the exact same style of knives, but you want a chef knife, you want a serrated knife, and you either want a paring knife or the Japanese style butcher slash fillet knives. If you follow those, you're going to be pretty much set for everything you need. There's lots of big sets out there with 15 kitchen knives, and honestly, you don't need those. Just 3 tools, that's all you need. So I hope I've given everybody a little bit of information. Regardless of what style knife you need, keep in mind that you need to buy a Japanese Waterstone. They typically run about $50 on eBay, and you can get a valid one off eBay or Amazon both. And that's just to maintain your edge and keep it sharp. And you're going to need a steel to align your edge once it comes out of alignment. And that's a real easy process. Just look on eBay and follow directions. Anyways, I hope I've given everybody a little bit of information, and good luck in your knife hitting pursuits.